All opinions and views expressed by the speakers are not representative of views and opinions of RBC Dominion Securities, Inc. All information and opinions provided in this video are in good faith, but without legal responsibility.
You're watching Wealth Management in Motion with Miles Durko. Hi, I'm Miles Durko, Senior Investment and Wealth Advisor at RBC Wealth Management in Winnipeg, Canada. Thanks for checking us out today. Today, we want to talk about the second pillar of a successful retirement portfolio. We talked about the fact that there is no magic number of how much money that you might need for a successful retirement. There is no one size fits all when it comes to wealth management or when it comes to retirement savings. But what there is, in my opinion, what I've called the 4 pillars of success for a retirement portfolio. Last episode, we talked about pillar number 1. We talked about the longevity of a retirement portfolio. Simply stated, I was saying, how long does your money need to last you? Today, I want to dig into pillar number 2, which is our portfolio doesn't have a consistent job to do in retirement. We already discussed that there's something in our economy called inflation, and prices tend to go up every year. So our portfolio actually has a increasing job to do every year. So when we look at this from a rising cost of living standpoint, and I've done the math, I've done the research, I've gone back about 100 years, and here in Canada, the average rate of inflation per year over the last century has been about 3% a year. Now, knowing that inflation has been about 3% a year tells us some data, but it doesn't tell us useful information. If we want to put this into useful information, we've got to talk dollars. And what that means in what's likely to be about a 3-decade retirement for many of us is that what costs us $1 in year 1 of retirement, if that 3% inflation number continues in the future as it has in the past, that what costs us $1 in the first year of retirement will end up costing us about $2.50 in our final year. So think about this. If you start retirement and you're enjoying a lifestyle that costs you about $4,000 a month at the outset of retirement, that lifestyle will cost you about $10,000 a month in your final years. If you start retirement and you're enjoying a lifestyle that costs you about $10,000 a month, well, that lifestyle will end up costing you $25,000 a month in your final years. So the question is, how do you keep up with inflation over the long period? How do you pay for everything that you need, that you want during your retirement? How do you maintain the value of your wealth so that you can feel comfortable and confident as you age, and also leave a beautiful and meaningful financial legacy to those that you love? You know, when we're talking about inflation and we're talking about the cost of living going up, I just think back to a story that my mother told me about when she was a little girl, and she'd walk down the street with a couple pennies in her pocket and go into the local corner store, and they had a little candy section there, and she'd walk in with her pennies and she'd walk out with her little bag of candy, and that candy was called penny candy. You know, nowadays they don't even make penny candy, and the reason they don't make penny candy is they don't even make the penny. You know, when I think about it, and I was born in 1977, when I was a child and I'd walk to the local corner candy store, I'd have some dimes and nickels, maybe a quarter or two if I was lucky. And I would go and I'd get my little selection of candy. And, you know, when I've taken my children to the candy store, we would go in there with toonies and loonies and folding money, because, you know, the cost of everything's gone up so much. And, you know, even when we look at the idea of children's candy having gone up so much over the years, it just goes to show, it's just an example of how everything in our lives has increased so much over the years. What I invite you to do is go to my website, milesdurko.com, That's milesdurko.com. And right on the homepage, you're going to see a section that says Insights to Impact. And that has a drop-down box, and that allows you to select from a number of articles that you can take and download and add value to your own financial situation right now, presently, today. I invite you to go to milesdurko.com, go to Insights and Impact, and make an impact in your financial life today. So pillar number 2, understanding the cost of living, understanding the pressure that puts on our portfolios because we have increased spending year over year, and the necessity of that is vitally important, in my opinion, to having a financially successful retirement that allows you to have all the money you need to fund your retirement lifestyle and maintain the value of your wealth to create a legacy for your loved ones. That's pillar number 2. Please like us, subscribe, and join us next time when we dig into pillar number 3. I'm Miles Durko, right here with you in the heart of it all at Portage and Maine.